Reality recap.
And hi, everyone. Yes, I know you have the reunion. Yes, we have 2 more episodes. And then we have the reunion, of course.
I look like the slave. I look like a mom. She was like, you the one that look like you got a high body count hair. I fell the fuck out, y'all.
Candace, has Deborah reached out to you to apologize after the episode aired showing Chris did not flirt with her?
She wouldn't dare. She would get eaten for breakfast.
Oh boy.
No, she's doubling down.
Why would you go meet with Ray J without talking to Princess or letting her know why? Like, she's trying to justify that she told her after the fact and not supposed to make it.
What do you think of your ex-husband Jim coming out and saying you did not try to stop him from suing Shannon and Tamara?
That's a good question. Well, I mean, if his memory is a little foggy about what transpired back then, that's okay. However, he did admit that I had nothing to do with the...
Reality recap. Reality recap.
Hey, happy Monday, guys. It is your girl V with Reality Recap here for another live Tea Talk session. And today we are talking about last night's episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta. If you're looking for the episode on any streaming platforms, this is Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 16. This is episode 14. The title of the episode is Chapter 2, Renew. As we know, last week they tried to do a renew conversation to refresh the group and how everybody felt before the trip got underway. And this week we are on day 2 of the trip, and we're going to go through my thoughts as always, and you guys let me know your thoughts. We are streaming live right now across Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. You can put your comments in the chats. I'll read your comments, get your questions and answer them. But yeah, hang out with me for a minute and let's talk about Real Housewives of Atlanta. Now, before we do, just a few things in the news. I did an emergency podcast episode last week to talk about Britt Edie and her not being at the reunion, her lawsuit. So make sure you guys check that out. I even had let you guys know that Rachel Zoe would be signing on to Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, but we got another surprise exclusively from People that Monique will be joining. Monique Samuels will be back for Real Housewives of Potomac season 10. She was seen filming over the weekend at the DC Pride Parade with all the other women, even Giselle. So this is going to be an interesting return. And she's coming in the capacity of friend of. So she's not a full-on housewife, but she is coming back as a friend of. I'm just wondering, friend of who? Is it of Ashley? Because they kind of left off on good terms. Who is the friend of? There's a few new girls joining the cast that are filming as well. I really didn't get into it because I try not to prejudge these new people, but I really didn't get into who they are or do much research on them yet because they're still pretty much filming. But I'll definitely give you some information about them as we get closer to season 10 of Real Housewives of Potomac. So just some news. Also in Roni news, Bryn Whitfield has decided she will not return for the next season of Roni. She is exiting. She said that this, you saw on the show that she started working with this dating app company, and she says that the dating app company is going so well so that she is not returning. Girl, you was fired. And you knew them people wasn't going to renew your contract after that foolishness you pulled in the last season. But she wants y'all to think that she quit. So that's what we're going to go with. But yes, Bryn Whitfield announced her exit from Roni earlier today. Do we really care? I just want to know, do we care? Because I'm telling you, that nonsense she pulled is ridiculous. Also, reminder, there will be no live podcast tomorrow because Basketball Wives is not film. No, I'm not going to say not filming. They're not airing tonight because it's what? Culture's biggest night. It's the BET Awards 25th anniversary. There's going to be a 106 in Park reunion. I'm totally looking forward to it. You guys know if you don't know, I loved 106 in Park, and I actually was in the audience for the taping of like 2 episodes of 106 in Park back in the day. I love going over. I'm a hop, skip, and a jump away from the city. So I have been on Wendy Williams, Ricky Lake, 106 in Park. I'm telling my age. Been on all of it. So yes, I'm looking forward to the BET Awards. I'll be covering who's there, their outfits, and my stories. If it's really good, I'll probably do a small recap video tomorrow. So make sure y'all tune in to that. It'll be airing on BET as well as VH1. Is a red carpet show coming on before the show. So no Basketball Wives. They will return next week, the 16th, with a new episode. So sorry. I saw some people were disappointed. I thought it was coming on, but they're supporting BT. We got to watch Culture's Biggest Night. So make sure y'all tune in. And yes, like I said, I'll be covering the BT Awards in my stories. I have a love for live television. I don't know what it is. The excitement of live television is just so amazing to me. Like, you never know what's going to happen. You never know what's going to come out of people's mouths. You never know what wardrobe malfunction, just crazy performances. Live TV, it intrigues me so much. So I love when it's MTV Awards, BET Awards. I love it all, y'all. So I'll be covering that in my story. So make sure you check that out. Now, before we get into Real Housewives of Atlanta, please make sure that you like this video. Please hit those thumbs up, hit those hearts, and make sure you follow me at Reality Recap 2876 on YouTube. If you missed this live or either want to see any of my other recaps, make sure that you head over and subscribe to my YouTube channel. The link is also in my bio to my YouTube channel on Instagram and on Facebook. And follow me. If you're a YouTube subscriber, follow me on my Instagram and Facebook. What you see right here, reality_recap, for all the happening news, gossip in these reality TV streets. I am also returning with doing a weekly reality news recap. Since we're a little slow on shows right now, I'm going to make sure that we did one. That was the emergency podcast I did. It went great. I loved it. So I'm going to bring back doing a weekly recap with you guys as well. And don't forget, Real Housewives of Miami starts this week. We have 2 days to the premiere of season 7 of Real Housewives of Miami. I will be covering that. So look out for those recaps as well. All right. That's enough news for today. Let's get into Housewives of Atlanta. So I want to start off by asking you guys, are you still trying to tell me that Charles likes Angela? I want to know. Are we still trying to tell me that? Because I've been telling y'all since I first saw this man on my TV, he don't like Angela at all. But y'all was saying that, oh, that's just his wit. He's just so funny. He doesn't want to be on television, so that's just the way he copes with it. I don't care if he wants to be on TV or not. If you don't want to be on it, then do like most husbands and don't come on. But he's embarrassing her at this point, and I don't find it funny. I don't find it witty. Everybody, like, I get he's this celebrity, this big cool guy, and he's playing nonchalant, but that man do not like her. I don't know what. Don't come in my comments telling me that no more. When I tell y'all this man don't like her. Hey, Love D Nice, thank you for checking in. I just think he old. They said he don't get paid. No, the husbands normally don't get paid. Like Ralph don't get paid. None of them get paid. You just think it's because he old. It's because he don't like her, Love D Nice. Y'all be coming up with the most. Now it's he old. He's witty. Oh, he's a celebrity. He has a too cool for school attitude. But then if y'all say so, Ashley, thank you for checking in on Facebook. Says, I think he does, but he just not affectionate like that. Well, I understand not being affectionate, but being embarrassing to your wife on national TV is a whole nother level. And I get it. He's only doing the show for her, or he could just not do it at all, and she could just film. There's plenty of husbands that we never see on the show. So just wondering, if you're going to film and do that, I would rather you not film at all. Yes, Love D Nice. Ralph doing all that for free. The husbands do not get paid. He getting confessionals with a blazer and no shirt on for no money. I guess for him, it's more about him getting his story out there because he swears that Drew is paying him out to be the bad guy. So it's more about for him getting his story out there. But no, he don't get paid for that. And you're right. You're talking about Angela that she does it to herself. I mean, she be trying to drag him on that camera. So I just want to ask y'all still think he love him? All right now. Lovely Night said it's the producers, they don't have nothing to talk about. The one story they have, they are running with it. Right. And somebody also said that in my comments earlier when I posted the episode highlights. They said that it's editing, that they think that it's the way the producers are editing Charles to make him, and it's like I can't ever go along with the whole editing thing because you have to give them something to edit, and this is literally how he is acting. So I don't know how much editing plays a role into it, but yeah, on the episode, that's how we start off. Angela is calling him over and over and over and over and over again. He's not answering. It's the day after their anniversary. She said on their anniversary, she called him and he didn't have time to cook. Time to talk to her because he was cooking. And she calling and calling and telling us how they're falling in love with each other more and more every day, yet he's not answering the phone. She said that she also thinks that he's being a little petty because she's not there to give him any on their anniversary. Okay, y'all. Whatever y'all say. This is Atlanta. Okay? Atlanta is like the breeding ground for our Black Hollywood and our Black celebrities. So all of our most loved R&B stars, rappers, actors, athletes, retired athletes are all living there. So if you think that he's just being upset because she is not there, I'm sure he's fine. But I digress. Those are just my thoughts. Lovely Night said, how they doing Charles is the reason why Shamia House don't want to film. Yeah. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. There's plenty of guys that just don't film or they do small snippets. Shamia husband really just talks on the phone. He's not on camera. You have to be a strong couple. You have to have no secrets in order to be on a show like this because whatever you are hiding, it will come to the light on these shows. So you definitely can't. And you said you think that Charles isn't for the game, so he checks her. You can see the editing. I've done Love and Hip Hop, and some scenes are shown how they're taped. Yeah, and I get it. Like you can tell, and sometimes when they edit someone saying something that really wasn't said at that time, like their head will be turned and you can hear it, or you can tell when things are kind of chopped and screwed where the ponytail might flip to the other side or they wearing something different. I get that, but this is just Charles. This is just Charles in my opinion. But yeah, he he didn't answer. She's telling about they falling in love. Okay, girl. We'll talk about the rest of there when she actually got him on the phone. We'll talk about that in a few. And the ladies the ladies split up in two groups. They go to a cooking class and the others go on like a waterfall excursion. And on the ride, Shamia was telling the ladies how Britt didn't donate or she did donate, but she didn't donate a lot because there was a hurricane in Grenada. So all of the women got together. I mean, it looked like Shamia was giving away her whole garage. Do y'all really think all them boxes that Shamia has stacked up were all for Grenada? I don't know. I don't know if that was all for Grenada or if some of that was just storage. But y'all know she gave y'all the pay it forward speech. So she's donating a garage full of clothes and stuff. The other women sent over things. Portia, I think she said she gave $1,000, and Shamia said that Britt showed up in her Rolls Royce with her Birkin on her hand to give 3 rolls of paper towels, and that she decided to give money instead. And Shamia says that she only gave $250. Now, so I showed you guys, I posted it on my page last night that because I was just curious, like what's the currency for Grenada dollars to US dollars? So $250, 250 US dollars equates to $675 in East Caribbean dollars. So if she had actually gave $1,000, that correlates to about $2,700 and some change in the East Caribbean dollars. So I don't know. That's just how my brain works. When I went and I was saying, well, 250, how much would that really give him? I mean, 675 ain't bad. I saw some people saying, who set the rule on it has to be $1,000 or more as long as she gave? Listen, that's what the Southern Belle said, honey. That's what the Southern Belle said. Okay. So I don't know. I have been piecing together in my mind my perception of Brit. I told you guys that, look, Love D Nice said Brit renting that whole housewife life. Yeah. She kind of reminds me of Danielle on Real Housewives of New Jersey, where Danielle doesn't necessarily live in a mansion. She has a normal house like we do. She's just enhanced her house by, using black and white tile and putting a pool in the ground. She's living in a, $300,000, 200 and something $1,000 house. But and I was following Danielle when she was just doing content. You know what I mean? Like some of these women, even Nene, where Greg afforded a lot of things to make her look like she had a lifestyle once she got on the show. And I think that's what Brittany is doing. We've never rubbed elbows, and I say us just, watching Real Housewives of Atlanta. We've never rubbed elbows with Brittany and seen her in any of the parties. Like her connection to this show isn't as clear cut as we've seen with other people. Oh yeah, like Marlo or things like that. So I always felt like, number one, I wasn't interested in her storyline about her and her sisters not talking, but I feel like this isn't her true lifestyle, right? The house looks okay, but it's not like a mansion or just the way it looks on the outside, it's not giving modern, brand new. So I don't know. I just feel like this is a rented life, even when they went to the car lot. I was telling y'all, like, it wasn't like she was at a Ferrari lot. She was just at a lot that had a lot of different cars. Like, it's giving almost like she was at Quads Man Kings luxury rental place, so it just seems like a lifestyle or a facade that she's trying to put on is why maybe she only gave $250. That's just personally how I feel. And the streets keep saying her past is very checkered as well as her husband's. We don't know what her husband does for a living. I know that everyone says he's an investor. Everyone says he's in the oil business, but we don't really see him do those things on his page. And it's said that he has a checkered past. So I did get in touch with attorney Simone Redwine, though. We are going to connect and look into this lawsuit that Brittany has filed with Bravo. And we're also going to look into his past as well as hers a little bit. So I'm working on digging, got my little detective and magnifying glass. We're looking into it and we're going to connect to get that done for you guys. Love D Nice says she don't want to put them sisters on TV. They will tell the truth. Right. It's more to that than just they mad because you with your husband 24/7. I don't know. I feel you on that, Love D Nice. But yeah, so she's telling them about the 250 that Britt gave and her 3 rolls of paper towels. So also in the car ride, Phaedra talks a little bit about Angela, and she says how she can't really read Angela, and she's known Charles for a long time. Like, he's a life of the party. He's a great guy. Everyone loves Charles. He's that guy. He's that dude. But when the producers asked her, so did you know he was married? She pretty much said, she said, well, I don't really be on the scene like that. Really, Phaedra, you don't be on the scene like that? Yeah, right. But she said, I've never known him to be married. So they also asked Drew the same question. She said, "Y'all trying to get me in trouble? Y'all know Angela, my girl. Angela and Charles is legendary." Like she was trying to avoid asking the question, but it's pretty obvious that clearly no one knows, or I don't know if it's a secret, but no one really knows that Charles is married on the Atlanta scene. And partially that could be right because we learned last night he don't wear a wedding ring. He refuses to wear a wedding ring. She said that's something they're talking through in therapy. Yet y'all still on here trying to tell me that he like her. I don't know. But it's clear that it's not obvious up front. Not to say that he's out flirting or flaunting other women, but he doesn't wear a wedding ring, number one. She did put up a post last week when Phaedra said that, or week, was it last week or the week before that? You know, Phaedra was joking that she's a secret wife. She put up a few pictures with her and Charles and some celebrities like Michael Jordan. And she said, when you choose to live a secret, you know, a private life, they call you secret wife, but like there's no secret over here or something, she said. Yet you telling us he won't wear a ring, child. I don't know. I don't know. Can't get into it. But yeah, that's a perception that Charles seems to be giving around town. So as they split, I think it was, who was it? It was Drew, Kelly, Cynthia. They went, Britt, they went to do like a cooking class. Them chefs was fine as hell. Like Grenada was number 2 on my list of like my bucket list places to go, and the Maldives was number 1. But it's giving we need to switch, honey, because they were fine. Them men out in Grenada was fine. Did y'all see that? The chef and the brother. I don't know about the prime minister. I think they was hyping him up. He looked like a 15-year-old boy. But I said, oh, okay, birthday trip it is. Shh, don't tell on me, y'all. But I said, wow. Didn't know they come that fine out in Grenada. But yeah, the chefs was giving a good eye candy last night, as well as the ladies. The ladies were serving body at the waterfall. Shamia, Portia, and that booty, Phaedra, they were serving, honey. They looked good. They really looked good. Cynthia, they posted a few pictures on their social media too, but they were serving body, and the chefs were serving body as well and face. So it was Grenada is looking like a good time. But after they take their pictures and stuff, Phaedra speaks on Brittany bringing up Apollo in the last episode. Brittany in the last episode, out of nowhere, at their first Renew dinner, she's kind of trying to clear the air on something that didn't even need to be cleared. She just wanted to get some more camera time because she's really not getting a lot. And she told Phaedra that her husband and her threw a party, and that Phaedra's her ex-husband Apollo was at the party, not invited by her, but through her husband. And Phaedra's like, okay, he got a whole nother wife. I don't know why you telling me this, but we're good. So she said she just thought it was weird that Brittany brought that up. And I agree. Like, it just came out of left field, and it was clear, like I said, a lot of these arguments, I feel like Brittany is trying to make her mark, and she's trying to make her mark in having camera time, popularity, so that she can return, or wanted to return for another season. And when things started to go left, when the whole Kenya thing didn't pan out the way she thought it would, she's now making up these, fictitious, nobody likes her, wants to get to know her, beefing with Portia. She's like making up these things in her mind. The delusion is real. And I still don't understand why she brought up the Apollo thing. It's not like Phaedra had talked about it, knew about it. It was just like, let me jump in this conversation so I can have the camera on me for a second. So yeah, Phaedra said that was weird. And at the chef cooking class, they started to ask about Black. They're asking Drew who Black is. Now, thanks to one of my followers that was on here last time I did the recap, we did pull up the guy Black. We pulled up his profile. He's like a hookah CEO. Y'all know hookah is very lucrative in Atlanta, but he has a very successful hookah business he's a CEO of, and they're asking Drew about him and are they dating now that Portia has brought this up. And I found it odd just for the simple fact that she pretty much gave us the same line that she gave us when we she's asked about Ty. Just my friend, there was some flirting, but we're not dating. And that's the same thing she said about Ty. So I don't know if I necessarily believe, because I don't believe that it was just flirting between her and Ty. I think there was more there. I think she enjoyed the attention, and what extent she got that attention to, I don't know. But now she's saying the same exact thing about this guy Black. So she's saying, no, I'm in a divorce. We're just friends. There's some flirting. If I do have a husband, you or a boyfriend, you'll know. I'll be shouting it from the mountaintops. I don't necessarily believe that. Not sure what's going on with them, but Portia said that Dennis told her otherwise, that she's actually dating Black. And he looks like Ink. He reminds me of Ink. He's short like Ink. Y'all know who Ink is, right? Mia's guy. He looks kind of, they look alike, not just in height, but in face and hair and everything. But yeah, I mean, he's successful. So I don't know if she's telling us the truth or not. I love Drew. I think she's becoming a top dog, but at the end of the day, I don't know. I don't know. And after that, what else did we see? Angela finally gets Charles on the phone after calling him for back to back to back to back. She finally gets Charles on the phone, and she's asking him, and I guess this is where Ashley was saying on Facebook that she brings it upon herself, because she's calling him on camera. She's asking him, well, do you miss me? I'm not there. This is our first anniversary apart. How do you feel about that? And he like, okay. And she's getting frustrated. She's like, I need you to give me something. I'm all the way over here. I need you to give me something. So why did you go? Like, I guess, she got to film. Why not? Why he ain't go with y'all and y'all spend time separate from the girls? That we've seen that happen a lot of times too, where a man gets brought on a girl trip and he just spend next to you, spend time with him on the side. I don't know. But you cannot convince me that Charles likes her. He doesn't say I love you. He doesn't show any affection. And to me, these are just signs that I've said that to you guys before. These are signs that we've seen from other house husbands that were cheating. We saw this from Lenny. We saw this from Ramona's husband. We even seen at one point with Joe, with Teresa, when they were on the Italy trip and he was out in the vineyard talking about something. Yeah, fucking bitch get on my nerves on the phone with somebody else. So this isn't foreign. It just gives those same smoke signals to me. So she left the phone pretty much sad, and headed out to dinner with the rest of the girls. Now, at this point, before they leave, Shamia's handing out shots, and she's saying, like, I don't want nobody to feel pressured, because, Brittany said earlier, like, no more shots or something like that. You do not have to drink. I'm not pressuring anybody. And you can tell the tension is brewing between Shamia and Britt. And obviously it's because Shamia is upset about her donation amount. We'll get to that in a second, but their tension is brewing, and she's like, I don't want to take no shots. Like, we are classy women, talking about Brittany. We're classy women, yet this is the same woman that smacked her tits on the kitchen counter at the end of the episode. But we classy women. We're arguing at the dinner table while we wait for the prime minister to come, but we're classy. Great. Okay. Right. So, and let me be clear, I'm not judging, because I like to get a little ratchet and have fun, but don't act like you're this classy woman and then you do things like that to contradict yourself. Like, if you have fun, if you lit, be that. But don't be like, I'm not taking shots. I'm not doing that. We are classy women. Like, girl, your event did not give classy. So knock it off. But anyway, I can tell you that to me, that's again a part of that facade. But the tension between Shamia and Britt definitely was brewing up to the dinner. So the ladies go to dinner, and that's where we get into, I feel like it was calculated, to be honest, that everyone was talking about, yeah, the house, and Britt and Kelly, who's always being messy. Kelly is only there for the purposes of being messy, calling people out, and I'm cool with that. But she kind of brings up the conversation, and it almost looked like they're giving eye contact to each other, like they've already talked about this, and we're gonna talk about it in front of Britt and see if she catches on. That I did not like. I did not like, Kelly saying, well, yeah, the house we went to earlier for the cooking class, they were affected by the hurricane. And then Shamia chimes in saying, right, you really got, hey, Alpha Love, thank you for checking in. She's saying, like, you really have to pay it forward, as Shamia said in the last episodes, but she's like, yeah, you can't show up in your Bentley with a Birkin and not really put down no money. And I didn't like that. I told I'm not gonna say y'all, but I'm not hooked on Shamia really giving top dog housewife energy, fan favorite. I don't get that from her. Number one, she talks too much. Number two, she cannot dress. She has way too much money to not have a stylist. Like, while I enjoy fashions and a housewife, you got to be able to put it together. I always say it's not on you, it's in you. But just because you wear things that are covered in Fendi prints and Balmain prints and Burberry prints and Dior prints, just because you put that on doesn't mean that you have style. And I don't, I get that her luggage was lost. You rich enough, y'all should have flew private, is what I was saying. But she lost her luggage. She's wearing like Portia's dress, but just even before that, in this season, she just can't dress. She doesn't dress well to me, and that's a top quality you must have in my book for me to think of you as some top dog housewife. You got to have fashion, you got to have wit, you have to be able to shade down. And it seems like she has energy for certain people, like Drew with her whole, kiss my motherfucking ass, bitch, or whatever she was saying at the bare bones. I gotta stop calling that, but the bare and naked shapewear event. She had a lot of energy for Drew. She kind of picks her battles. She won't do that with Portia, and it was clear she really didn't want to go there with Brittany, because if you felt like her donation wasn't enough, if you felt like her three paper towel rolls wasn't enough, you should have said that when she dropped it off, when y'all was on camera then. And also, it sounded like she had already had a conversation with Britt and told her that her donation should have been more. So you've already talked to her to the side. Why try to bring it up in a roundabout way? For me, a top dog housewife confronts someone head on and say how they feel and mean what they say. So I didn't like how she brought that along. And I was happy that Britt, even though, I don't give her Britt like that, but she caught the tea. She clocked it. Like, so are you talking about me? Because I'm the one that showed up with a Birkin and a Bentley. And she's like, no, if you take it that way, you're not the only one that has a Bentley. I drive a Bentley. She drives a Rolls Royce. But you was talking about her. So I thought that was a little corny. In my opinion, it's a few things Shamia is doing that I don't like. I think she was very extra with Drew. I didn't like how she went to the radio station interview and was talking about Drew. Like, promote your single, not promote Drew, because Drew music is doing well. Promote your own single is how I felt. Alpha Love said for her to have the rich man, it's only about monogram. Yeah. Like, that doesn't make fashion. And Cynthia Bailey taught us that, right? Cynthia barely wears high fashion pieces. She can put anything together. That's why I said it's not on you, it's in you. You could wear a Shein outfit from head to toe and put it together, and it'll look like $1 million. So I'm not sold on Shamia like being this forefront glue of Atlanta. I just don't get that for her. I don't. But Kelly gets offended by the comment, and she's saying like she's upset with Kelly, number one, which I agree. Kelly kind of started the conversation and saying like, well, she started the conversation and then jumped in to say, well, I feel like, maybe Brittany hasn't been in this setting. Britt doesn't know what she should contribute. So this is more of a learning experience. for you to be the one that showed up after the Kenya thing and bringing her your waffles and chicken and tea or whatever you brought to her. Y'all supposed to be so close at this point. They not anymore, but y'all supposed to be so close. If you felt like her donation wasn't good enough or that's something she learned, then you should have talked to her behind closed doors. That was weird for me. Like it's crazy to me. Like, I don't like that. I don't like that. If we're gonna keep it 100, then that's what we're gonna do. If we're gonna confront, then that's what we're gonna do. But if you already talked to her, why is it even a thing? And she said she was told she could give whatever she want. So if you wanted $1,000, you should have said that. And I told y'all, even though I agree with what Kelly said, and I said that to you guys, Brittany this isn't her social scene. She is faking it till she make it, in my opinion. I really do feel that way. So this is just not her scene to know the rule is $1,000. I mean, the 250 in Grenada dollars was almost 1,000. I told you I was like 670 some dollars. It was almost that. And don't get me wrong, I'm no Britney stan. I'm just more of a what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. So if you already talked to Brit about it, why are we bringing it up at the dinner table in front of everybody? And if you are going to bring it up at the dinner table, then confront it head on. Don't sub me at the table. If you're talking to me, talk to me. So that was the only thing that I didn't like. But as part of that conversation, Brittany asked, well, does anybody else have anything else they want to say to me? And that's where Portia chimes in. Portia chimes in and she says, well, it feels like, you feel you're saying that you don't feel supported. Alpha, you like the prime minister? I said the chefs looked good. The two chefs at the house, they looked good. The prime minister looked so young to me. I get he's a grown man, but he looked like, he said he had a 17-year-old son, but he looked at 17. I don't know. Wasn't my type necessarily. I don't know. But before the prime minister got there and they were having this conversation about the donations, and Brittany asked if anybody else had anything else to say, Portia brought up, well, like, we're hearing that you are not feeling supported, or you feel like nobody's like hanging out with you or trying to get to know you. And she's like, I haven't been invited to anything other than, the Bare and Naked event, which she attended. And she's saying, like, it doesn't seem like you're open to that. And Brittany is always on defense. It reminded me of the whole brunch that Kelly put together that was literally centered around Brit and to support her after the whole thing happened with Kenya. So for her to say no one's putting an effort, I thought that was weird, just because, girl, there was a whole lemonade event for you that you came into and cussed Angela out for asking you, what is your insurance license under investigation for? I don't know. So she gets really defensive. She kind of blows things up in her head, in my opinion, like she did. I didn't feel like Kenya was coming for her. It's a normal question to ask. Oh, are you getting married again? You have on the ring, but not the wedding band. Like, normally the wedding band symbolizes you already, you had your wedding ceremony. So I didn't never feel like Kenya was coming for her in the capacity that you got to be like, become Pistol Patty. I didn't get that. But she gets a little defensive, and she's telling Portia, like, so are you asking me, or are you telling me that I'm not open to it? And she's like, okay, girl, like, let's talk in a friendly tone. And she's like, no, you're cutting me off. You're not hearing me. And she's getting escalated, and they kind of have to cut the conversation off because the prime minister walks up. So the prime minister comes. Everybody's, he has a mojito with the girls, and they all in their confessionals like, I could be the first lady of Grenada. So don't know if he's married or not, if he's just in the same boat with Charles. He did mention he had children, and when he left the table, they talked about, like, who could he date? Would it be Kelly? Would it be Portia? Would it be Drew? And out of nowhere, kind of like at the Bare Naked event where Angela just decided to come out and say Charles doesn't have a side baby. She comes out at this event and says, yeah, because Charles don't wear his ring neither. Girl, you not helping the perception of Charles. But I said, y'all keep trying to make me believe that Charles like her. So I said it, I said again. Like, so there's an alleged phantom baby. That's what Portia called him, alleged phantom baby. He out in the streets and nobody knows that he's married. He's not wearing a wedding ring. He half don't want to talk to her on camera. He don't want to say I love you at all. I don't know. It's very confusing. I think more stuff will come to the light when we get to the finale. So I'm still along for the ride. But she lets the group know that yeah, he doesn't wear a wedding ring. She's let him know in therapy that bothers her. She's away from him on vacation, and it doesn't seem like he's too sad about her not being there for their anniversary. But they did support her and bring out an anniversary cake for her, and she cried because I think she cried because she was embarrassed about how he's acting on this phone. I really do. I just think she was embarrassed by that. I know I would have cursed my husband the fuck out acting like that on TV. Like, come on now. If anything, I would think he would care about his image as well. Like, fake it if you don't mean it. Like, if you're trying to turn around your image or getting kicked out of the garden, this is not it. Okay? Or maybe you just don't care at all. I have no idea. I'm not a basketball girl. I'm a football girl. So I know he's so legendary, but I could really care less. Be honest. So she gets her anniversary cake, and the girls head back to their home, and Shamia gets a call from her husband that her baby's not doing well. Her youngest baby, we know, has a lot of health issues, unfortunately. And I don't know. It sounded like her husband said that was a nanny that he didn't want there anymore because he left the baby in the crib with, in a cold air conditioning room with no socks on, no pajamas on, and she's susceptible to congestion and getting sick, and she can't fight off a cold like a healthy baby could. So she felt bad, and I know all about that. My heart broke for her just because I'm a mom. I have mom guilt as well. I have not traveled without my children since having them, because if anything like that was to happen or they get sick and you're away, you start to beat yourself up. Like, did I even deserve to go, without them and have fun? Which moms, we do deserve that. We do. So if anybody feels like that, we do deserve it. But the girls rallied around her and they supported her in that moment, which was good to see. They prayed with her. They, held her while she cried. Now, I'm going to say Britt didn't seem authentic to me. She got down and she cried and said, even though what we went through, I'm still going to be here for you. I was hurt, but I'm still going to be here. I am part of your village. I love you. I'm your sister. And I'm saying, how long has she known Shamia? She known her that long for all of that? Not making any sense at all, but it felt like an act and a put on. And then she's like, and now I will have shots with you. So they have a shot. And then Miss Classy whips out her boobs and smacks them on. She's smacking them on the countertop and sticking her tongue out. I was like, the Classy went out the window, child. She said, and I'm going to pour champagne for everyone. And that's kind of where we left off. I don't know, but we went from Classy to tits on the counter real quick. And I like that type of fun. I don't consider myself, I mean, I know how to act in public settings, but Classy, I am not. I like to have fun with my friends. I don't have too many of them because I keep my circle real close. You know what Jay say, less is more of us, is plenty of us, But I like to have a good time. I like to have fun. So it was good to see her cut loose, but don't play with me like you some classy country club goer when your husband got a lawsuit out here for 10K that's saying that you ain't paid for that banquet and that event that you had. Like, come on, pick a side. Because at least with Danielle from New Jersey, she's transparent about it. Like, no, I don't live in a big home, but this is who I am. I'm 100% me. So, like, if that's who you are, then just own that. Don't make us believe you something that you're not, because that's the worst thing you can do on reality TV is get on TV and fake it. Like, viewers can see through that, especially me. Like, I've been watching reality TV so long, you can see straight through the bullshit. You know what's real, you know what's not. You can read their facial expressions, body language. Like I be reading these people down. I'm not new to this. I'm true to this for real, for real. Okay. So just don't try to play us. But I don't know. Britt hasn't put up any more statements at all since filing her lawsuit. I'm waiting to, I'm gonna connect with attorney Simone Redwine so we can look into the lawsuit and also her checkered past as well as her husband. So I can't wait for that for sure. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the episode. It was all right. It was all right. We'll see what happens in the upcoming episodes. But it was just okay. That's all I had to say about it. Thank you, Alpha Love. But yeah, as I said earlier, reminder, no basketball wives tonight because of the BET Awards. But make sure you support the BET Awards, culture's biggest night. 25th anniversary of the BET Awards is going to be a 106 in Park reunion. I'm looking excited, I'm looking forward to that and the live performances and whatever crazy things will happen when live TV is on, as always. It's always a time with live TV. So I will be giving you guys some of the red carpet looks. The red carpets are starting now. I see Candy on my phone arriving with her daughter looking snatched. So I'm going to start putting some stuff in my IG and Facebook stories for you on the BET Awards. But I will be back Thursday for a live tea talk on the season 7 premiere of Real Housewives of Miami. Of course, I'm going to give you sneak peeks. So before I get out of here, please make sure you like this video, like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can see my pre-recorded recaps, my live recaps. If you missed them, they're up on my YouTube channel. It's coming across the screen at Reality Recap 2876. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, reality_recap, for all the reality news and gossip in these streets. And also, I am an Amazon influencer, guys. So look out in my stories for thank you, Alpha Love. Look out for my stories where I've been posting links to some of my fave skincare routine products, outfit details that you can shop from Amazon, mom hacks, family hacks. So make sure you check those links out. And also my storefront on Amazon is Reality Recap. So no, I'm not selling anything on Amazon, just referring you guys to some of the products that I use from Amazon. I'm a bit of a Amazon addict. I do admit it. Hi, I'm Vanessa, and I'm an Amazon addict. So check out those links. They take you directly to Amazon so you can purchase. All right. Enjoy the BET Awards, guys. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. Before I get out of here, as I always say, reality TV stars are humans too. Let's not forget that. It's your girl V with Reality Recap. I'll see y'all later. Peace.